Okay, we're going to highlight the single most important exercise seniors should be doing every day. So we'll get to that. Anyway, we're going to do that today. And we're going to do a few little warm-ups before we get into that. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do is if you have leg weights, we're going to use them today, some. So pick up some leg weights. I've got them there. Get your little pillow or your pad, whichever works best for you. Okay. I have this pad. So this is a balance pad that you can use to sit on or stand on. Okay. I have about 6 more of these if anybody's out there interested in them. You can find them many places. This is a really good one. So I'm going to warm up. So why don't I put the pad on the floor? Because we're going to use that as our entering move for this most important exercise that all the researchers in human physiology and aging and so forth have told us. If you pull up Silver Sneakers, if you pull up the Mayo Clinic, if you pull up anything with that, they're going to highlight this move that we're going to really investigate today. Okay, so what am I doing? I have my leg weight in my hand. It could be your hand weight, just one. And I'm going from one side to the other side because I'm going to be doing lifts. It's going to involve our arms, our shoulders, our core, our legs, especially today. So I'm getting them warmed up. So I'm just doing careful steps front to back. And some of you might say, well, why doesn't she go faster? And I would say, because I am trying to get your joints woke up. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm taking steps forward and back, and I'm making sure to use my ankle, to use my foot, to line myself up while I just pass this little weight. This one's 5 pounds, back and forth, and I'm stepping toe heel. And as I go back, I push my butt back. Okay. So I'm taking the time to show you this because on this move, which is a typical move, a transfer of weight back, a lot of us just go like that. Actually, you put your foot down and then you push your butt back and then you go back. That's how I want you to go back while you're passing midline and you're passing this little weight. It's a leg weight. You could use a bag of beans. You could use a can. You could use your free weight. Doesn't matter. It needs to be a weight of some sort. It could be 2 pounds. It could even be 1 pound, for goodness sakes. The point is, as I'm doing this careful, slow walk, I'm trying to notice, am I overleaning? Typically, I can say yes. I overlean on my hip replace side, which is this side. And so I'm going to try to keep that straight. Take a breath in through your nose. And whenever I pass the weight across, see, I keep my elbows tucked. Some people flare their elbows. You're inviting shoulder issues. If on the get-go, with a small weight, you flare your elbows. So you keep your elbows in and they're pumping forward and back. And I'm just taking from one side to the other side. I'm taking a careful walk backwards, which is another huge move that needs to be done pretty regularly, but very carefully, especially by those of us who continue to have our birthdays past, I would say 40. Supposed to be past 50. But, so one more pass. So see, I'm just taking one weight item, whatever it is. I'm bringing it right here to under my chin. See, and I go back and my elbows go back. When my elbows go back, I bend the knee in the back. I'll turn so you can see what I'm doing. See, I bend the knee in the back and I push the butt back with the elbows. See that? And then I do the same on the other side. Okay? And if you want to make this more challenging, after you've warmed up, like we're doing right now, attempt to do a heel toe walk as you go back and as you go forward. What do I mean by that? It's a tandem. It's called a tandem walk. And you just stay very narrow, like on a line that might be on your floor, imaginary line, or heck, draw a line, that'd be fine. And then try to stay on balance. As you're bringing your hands here under the chin, pulling them back, keeping level, drop your shoulders. In through the nose, out through the nose if possible. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. And bring it back. Okay? Now I'm gonna hold on to this weight. This is the leg weight. This is 5 pounds. It's light, considering I'm using both hands, okay? So we're just waking up right now. So I'm gonna go into a high hip hinge with a cross chop. See that? So I'm gonna step wide, just like this. So I was talking to some of you as we came on this morning, and I said, you know, we're gonna highlight a move that has been deemed the most important move that you need to be doing daily for seniors, okay? So I'm gonna stay right here on one side, just for like 3 or 4, and then I'll switch. So I don't wanna keep complicating it. So that's why I'm staying on one side. So see, I'm right here, wide stance. And when I go to cross chop, your shoulders are down, your chin is tucked. You're pushing into your heels and you're just putting your hands right here above your kneecap. See that? And then you come back up. Take a breath. When you go to swing the axe or to do the cross chop, you're pushing your butt back. Okay? You're going into the heels. So I've chosen this move for a big reason, because it's a precursor to this very important move that, yes, we do a lot in here. However, I was talking to somebody just this morning and asked them the question, what's the most important move that people over 50 or 60 need to be doing every single day? And she said, walking. I said, walking's great, but that's not it. Okay? And this is a hint right now. See what I'm doing? I'm doing a cross chop and I'm starting into a hip hinge, which gets me into a stand and I sit. See that? So coming right off of this, we're going to finish on the other side, but we're moving now into the class. Okay? It's a sit to stand or a stand to sit. See? Depending on whatever you're doing, what comes first, standing or sitting? It depends, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go to the other side. My feet are as wide or wider than the chair legs of your kitchen chair, okay? This goes right under the chin, whatever little weight you've chosen, whether it's a single hand weight, just hang on to it right here. Drop your shoulders. Tighten your tummy. Now push the butt back, okay? Now I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna go to the other leg. And then as I come up, See, I'm just gonna go to the shoulder, so I'm not even sitting. But I wanted you to know why I chose this right before we're gonna do the sit to stands, okay? So stay wide. That's a little tip, that's a little trainer's tip. If you're just beginning back again, let's say you've been lazy for a while. So if I have a whole class full of slugs, does that surprise you that we get lazy? I'm including myself. Okay. So I'm gonna entitle this, When You've Been Lazy. Where do you start? Start with this move. Okay, I've already warmed you up for it. Here I am under my chin. I'm gonna go to the opposite leg, bring it right to the shoulder. And see how I'm doing a hip hinge? I'm not going into my sit down, not yet. I demonstrated it, but I'm not doing the move yet. Take a breath. Okay, I'm gonna do one more of these cross chops right there, and I should be loading into my heels here. That's a clue. My rib cage is up. I stabilize in the core. How do I do that? I brace. So when I'm going to take somebody into a sit to stand, especially if you have a weight, I'm going to keep this weight. It's one weight. It's very easy to handle. I can just hold it like this. If it's a ball, I can hold it. If it's a free weight, I can hold it right here. It's under the chin, okay? And as I go into my heels, see, I brace. I brace my tummy. How do you brace your tummy? Okay, here's a good way to know if you're braced enough to support your back. See my fist? What if I came at you with my fist and I was going to punch you right in the belly? That's bracing. Okay, brace. You're into the heels now. And so what I'm doing is I'm moving you down further so that we go into a sit to stand modality. Look at your toes. Some of you have them spread way too far, okay? They're out like a duck. It's okay to be out a little bit, but not like so much, okay? Drop your shoulders. Weight is under the chin. Hip hinge. Push your butt back, go into the heels. Put your elbows on top of your knee, right on the lower part of your thigh, and then come back up, okay? That simple move, and I'm taking you down gradually, is everything in keeping your independence, okay? So in the conversation that I was having this morning with this person about the most important move that seniors should make sure they're doing every day, I asked her that, and she said walking. I said walking's important, but the sit to stand is what you should be really focusing on, okay? So do one more with your elbows on your knees. I hope you're not sitting yet, because we're going to do that. I don't want to tire you out, and I don't want you to quit, Kathy. I'm not sitting yet. Brace, shoulders down, go back, elbows on top of the knees, hang out there for just a little bit, and then come back up. Keep this braced. Yeah, but don't quit breathing. All right? So, back to the conversation that I was having with this individual. Two more. Here we go. Right there, going to the heels, Yeah, my weight is right here under my chin. It's just tucked right in here, right on top of my sternum. So here I am. Heels. Keep your chin tucked. Come back. Okay, now we're gonna go down. We're gonna go ahead and sit. Okay? Mind you, this is gonna be progressive because what did I put in my kitchen chair? Yeah. Those 2 stinking little inches will help you to go into this move without overdoing and challenge as we take it out in just a minute. So here we go. We're going to go into our hinge. Our chair is right behind us, and we just sit. See there? Now I'm just gonna put that weight right here and just cross my hands right across my sternum, okay? Kind of like cross my heart, you know, that type of thing. Okay, take a breath, shoulders down. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go sit, and we're gonna go ahead and stand. And I'm just telling you right now, I'm gonna do 10 like this right now. Then we're gonna go to something else. Then we're gonna come back and revisit this move, okay? Right now I have a light weight. It's about 5 pounds that I use for the warm up. And we're gonna do about 10 of these. My feet are wide, okay? As wide as the chair legs, okay? So I'm going to do a hip hinge to stand. Drop your shoulders, drop your chin, brace. Go into, now push into the heels, push and come up. And see, I've just got my little weight right here. I've got my raised platform to do a sit. Down, that's 2. This right here is 2, okay? I have to keep Kathy straight. That was 2, Kathy. This is 3. Take a breath. She's gonna quit working as my counter. I think that's 4. Here we go. 5. Okay, so don't go too fast. Don't go too fast. You know what happens? You don't get a hip hinge. I want you to hip hinge. Hang your butt back. Go into your heels. Go down. Breath. Heels. Back up. That's about 6. Take a breath. Drop down. Here we go. Drop your shoulders. Woo! This is about 8. Don't go too fast. So the heel really comes into play here because it's the weight shifting, okay? Not momentums and swings. I think that's about it for 10, okay? So I'm right here. Take a big deep breath. Yes. I'm gonna put my weight down, okay? Then I'm gonna take my hands and I'm gonna lean in. Now, again, I'm going to title this one, When You've Been Lazy for a While. How do you get back on track with strength work? Okay, we just started the sit to stand. All the warm up was for that. But then we also started warming up our shoulders, correct? So now, using your chair, we're going to do the first 3 or 4 seated, okay? So we're going to come here and we're going to raise our hands out over our heads, and then we're going to come back. See, my thumbs are right underneath the ears, okay? I'm gonna hip hinge, and I'm gonna keep the biceps right on either side of my head, so they're right at my ear. And I'm gonna do one more like this, seated, and I'm gonna raise my hands. See that? Take a big deep breath, and I'm gonna be kind of in a Y on the get-go. So as you hip hinge, you're using your chair, you have to brace, okay? You brace, drop your shoulders, your hands go up in a Y. Just like that. And when you come back, take a big deep breath, and they're gonna go to now from a Y to a goal post, see that? To a T. Then I'm gonna swing them down here, and my shoulder blades are gonna squeeze in. I'm gonna keep my chin tucked. I'm hip hinged forward. I'm gonna bring those hands back. I'm gonna turn them and go into a goal post type of a move, and then back into the Y, and then come down and come back, okay? So what I'm trying to do is to get you to do a full range of motion with your shoulders, shoulder blades, shoulder girdle. I warmed them up. That's what we did the whole first part of this warm up. But we're seated, we're bending. Now we're gonna stand right there. We're gonna hip hinge. And now we don't have the chair, but we're gonna do the same thing with the hands. Okie dokie. And I'll turn here a little bit so you can see. Have the chair so that if you need it. So I'm gonna hip hinge. Here's my hands. I'm gonna go into a Y. So I have to be very braced. Okay, my knees are soft. My butt's pushing back. Then I'm gonna come to a goal post. Okay. And then I'm gonna go out into a T. And then I'm gonna come back with palms up and squeeze my shoulder blades together. Then I come out of that, go to my goal post, go to my Y, T, forgot the T, and then come up. Okay. Somebody with shoulder issues might not be able to go up in this type of fashion unless you were doing it at a wall to help you. But if you bend into this position and do it, oh my goodness, it's great, okay? Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my leg weights. So some of you have leg weights. I told you we were gonna use them. So I'm gonna strap them on because our legs are needing a lot more resistance in order to work a little harder, okay? So as I get my weights off the floor, I'm very conscious of doing a hip hinge. So this is where a lot of people will round their back. Don't round your back when you're going down to get any kind of weights, but especially your leg weights on. It's just like putting on a shoe, right? Or your sock. The tendency is for you to round your back, okay? But you know not to do that, right? Because you guys are so smart. Yeah. Right there. No bending of the back. I have a 5-pound weight and a 5-pound weight, okay? When you do a sit to stand or a squat, you are literally using all your muscles, all your joints, all your systems, okay, to do that. That's why getting people up out of the bed, if they've been sick or they've had injury, or to just get them up, if they use a walker, if they use a cane, I don't care what it is, they need to be doing a sit to stand, a lot of them. When I say a lot, I'm gonna say 3 sets of 10 to 15. And you don't have to do them all at once. Now we're going to in this program today, but you can do them through the day. So here I am. I have my little weights. See that? So I'm just going to bring a knee up, shift. See that? And before I go to pull the knee up a little, this is braced, this is soft. Shoulders down, and I'm going to come up. And I'm going to shift. And I'm just going to pick my knee up. See, like that? Tight tummy. Shift. Pick my knee up. Shift. So I'm very aware of my propensity of leaning too much. Okay. Why do I make such a big deal of that? Because I'm not using the muscles that I really need to use. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my chair here. See, I just turned it around. And when I rotate and I get ready to come up, I'm not going to over lean. Now, you will push on your chair some, and that's okay. Just don't overuse it. So I'm trying to stabilize and stay symmetrical so that I'm not doing this or this when I go to lift this weight. So it's an up like this, and you actually are doing a little bit of a hip hinge, but now you have 5 pounds or whatever you've chosen on your ankle, okay? That has great implications for core strength and stability. That's why it is so important for you to be mindful of how you're moving, okay? So I'm right here. I'm going to shift and I'm going to push my butt back. I'm shifting, and I'm going to come up. I'm going to keep from leaning. I'm going to shift, and I'm going to keep from leaning. I'm going to come straight up and back down. I don't want to lean. So pay close attention to that. Breath, shift, woo, shift, and come one more. Yay. Okay. Take a big deep breath. So we're getting back on track. One of the best ways to do that is to do series of what we're doing today. I addressed the upper body, shoulder mobility, and I got you ready to do the sit to stands. And we've already done our first set with a 2-inch pad on the chair, which raises you. And you would think that that would make a difference. It makes a difference, as you will see. So what am I doing? Okay, I'm standing here. Squeeze your butt. Get it innervated. Okay, squeeze it. Now release it. Put your leg back like that. See that? See, I just want to shift and see where's my parameters, and do I have a tendency to do a very common move when somebody goes to put their foot back like this? They tend to do this. Do you see what I did? They do this, okay? That's a form of cheating. Who would have thought that a class full of slugs would want to cheat on a move? I don't know. Anyway, so be very circumspect about your move. And if you've had significant hamstring injuries, knee injuries, back injuries, if you have a leg weight, 5 pounds or even littler, just to shift and to take your leg back here and straighten it, that's a big deal because it starts all up in here. This is where the movement happens. See? So shift, bring it back there. So I'm prepping you. This is all hoisted right here. It innervates from here. Okay, so tighten your butt. Yes. Drop your shoulders. Yes. Keep my chin tucked. Make sure you're breathing in through the nose. Okay, bend the knee. Take that leg back. Okay, now we're ready to do the lift. Now we're going to lift. Take a breath. It goes straight. We say rib cage up. We come back in. We lift with the heel leading. Take a breath. And here's my little tip. When you do this move, especially if you have no weight on your leg right now, you're going to have a tendency to really squeeze it in there. I would not do that because your hamstrings are much weaker than your quads, number one. Number two, if you contract that muscle too tight, it will just cramp and it hurts. It's not, you can get it worked out. It's no problem. I just would like to avoid it. So what am I doing? I'm dropping my shoulders. I'm leaning in. I have my foot back here, okay? I'm going to squeeze my butt. Then I'm going to bring that heel up as far as I feel I can, not too far, and then go back down. And I'm attempting to get you to do 10 of these, okay? And I think we're there. We'll do 2 more just in case. Okay, 1 more. Breath. Okay, come back. All right. Big deep breath. Yes. Drop your shoulders. Other leg goes back. This knee bends. Okay. Squeeze your butt. Lift and pull the heel. Then come down and come down. Pull the heel and come down and come down. So a lot of what you're going to see everywhere, unless you're taking like a full class like this one, they will just say Okay, here's how you do this move. And do, 2 or 3 sets of them. And then they go to the next move. Well, if you're doing this with me, we're doing them. Okay? We're halfway right now, I think. Take a breath, drop your shoulders in through the nose. Don't do it quick. We're going to hold this one, bring it up here, hold on to it, and then come down. Take a breath. So the next 3, we're going to just hold. We'll bring it up. We're going to hold. We're going to hold. Bring it down. Breath. Brace. Drop your shoulders. Lean. Here we go. Pull. Pull. Hold. 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 Now, if you had at least 5 pounds on your ankle, you were starting to feel that. That's perfect. That's what we want. Okay? So you can keep this chair right here and use it as your balance medium, or you can put your hands on a wall, or you can have walking poles, whatever, so that you're safe, so that you will challenge these joints and muscles. So now we're going to shift, and we're going to go from the midline out. And we're going to hold. See that? Okay, this is kind of a big deal because we don't do this often, and we don't do it often with leg weights. So if you're somebody that's had hip troubles, back troubles, do not overdo on this one. This is one of the foundational moves of the Strong Women, Strong Men, Stay Young program by Miriam Nelson. Okay, she's a PhD researcher in osteoporosis prevention. Okay, see how I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to stay here. Now I'm going to get an overload going. So what am I doing with my foot here? It's going forward, number 1. I'm pressing down here, tightening in, going right here. Do not turn that toe. If you hold it here for a couple of counts, you're going to feel it right here. You're going to feel it right here. Yes. So stay braced. That supports your back in this move. Okay. So you have, the only reason you can walk is because you have what's called antagonistic muscle usage going on. You have a front and a back. One gives and one goes. One gives, one goes. That's what that means. Okay, ready? I'm gonna go out, but notice I did not turn my toe up. It's pushing forward, okay? And then come back. So do that once or twice, get your bearings, make sure you're in a good position. So you're coming right here, and then you come back. So anybody with, again, hamstring issues, back issues that you're trying to work out of, or you want to get those entities stronger, and make sure that you don't turn that toe up, okay? This has to do with these muscles right in here, okay? And this one is holding us, so it's going to get fatigued. Take a breath, and like I'm focusing on one set on the go around. We may come back to this, but right now that's what we're focusing on. So you should have done 10 and 10. Now these are only 5 pounds, okay? We'll talk about progression at another time, because this program that I'm doing today is when you have been a little lazy, let's say. I'm going to turn this way so you see what I'm doing. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to take this out of the picture. There. Still got my leg weights on. Standing in front of my chair. Okay. And here's the thing I want to point out in this session with you today. I'm not going super fast. A lot of times that's our goal, is to kind of achieve an aerobic kind of level of work and just keep boom, 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 boom. If you've been lazy for a little bit, let's say 2 weeks, You're not going to feel like doing that. So we're recovering. So I hope you're recovered now. I just removed the 2-inch raising on this right here. I have leg weights on. Okay. So we're going to go into a sit to stand modality now. Okay. Are you ready? I'm going to take and bring my hands out here like this, or you can just put them straight in front of you, whichever floats your boat, whichever you need to do. I'm going to go here. This is a little more challenging, or you can go here. You go into a hip hinge, keep your chin tucked. You go all the way down, okay? And then you act like somebody's pulling you up. So the first 3 to 5, go ahead and just reach your hands out there. But when you can, put them here, okay? But don't jerk. See, don't jerk in this. You're going to have 2 more inches that you didn't have before. You ready? Breathe in through the nose, push, and you're right up here. Push, and you're right down. Push. You don't have to go fast. You don't have to keep up with me. I'm just trying to get you to do correctly 10 of these, okay? Breath. Here we go. Here we go. Breath. Got a couple more, okay? Take a breath. Keep your shoulders down. Breathing in through your nose. Out through your nose or mouth. Okay, just 2 more with me right now. Just 2 more. Breath. Here we go. Yay. All right. Now you're going to take and just put one leg back. See that? That's all I did. I have my leg weights on. I'm not moving around fast. If you ever see people, I'm going to turn my chair, just rotate it so that I can hold on to it by the side. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. I just put my hand here, and I'm just going to put my leg back as far as it can go. See, I'm going to go back. Okay, then I'm going to bend that knee. I'm going to go into what you think of as a lunge. Not really a lunge, but be pretty wide. Okay, so if you ever see people walking around with legs weights on their ankles, especially after a certain age of a person, well, just get them to call me. That is not a good idea. Okay, see what I'm doing? I'm having to balance with leg weights around my ankles. It makes a difference. Okay, even though I'm not lifting my legs, I'm going into a kind of a modified lunge. See, I'm not going all the way down. I have my hand here. I'm lined up. I'm hanging out down here for a little bit. See that? It's just a little tiny pressing. I'm pressing my knee down. No bouncing. Line up, brace, drop your shoulders. Big breath, big breath. Drop that knee down. Yes. Breath. Now we're going to hold. Are you ready? Stay down there. Hold just right down there. Just hang out down here. Just hang there. Should be feeling it here. Should be feeling it a little here. Here. Big breath, and come back. Okay? Carefully bring that leg forward. Okie dokie. Big breath, drop your shoulders, brace. We're going to take the other leg back. So get ready. Okay, here we go. I just had to see what time it was. Take that leg back. Okay, it should be stretching into your calf. Some of you might have got a little sore in your calf. I did. Okay, bend that back knee. Okay, toes are forward. It's a pretty big step. And you're going to bend that back knee. And as you come down, you don't want the knee to be excessively over the front toe. It'll go over a little. That's fine. That's properly done. However, you don't want it to go way out over the toe. Not right now. Okie dokie. Take a breath. I'll put my hand here. Drop your shoulders, drop your chin, tight in the core. Coming down, come back up. So if you're getting started again in strength work because you took a vacation and everything else was going on and you just couldn't remember certain things. Number one, you start back up, you focus on about 3 up to 6 moves, and then you go through them as correctly as possible with light weight, okay, not heavy weight to start with, okay? Take a breath. See, I'm going down as far as I can. I'm gonna hold. I'm holding down there. Keep your chest up. Just a press, it's a press, it's a press, it's a press, hold, hold, and then come up, okay? Stretch that calf, big breath, rotate, and bring it up. Nice. All right. Now we're gonna go from that, and we're gonna go into our we're going to go into a sit to stand, and we're going to do a little test. I've gotten you very, very warmed up. I have my leg weights on. I'm going to go tap, lift. See that? Bring it back down. Shift. Shoulders are down. I have my chair here if I need it because I don't want to overlean. So when I call on this hip right now to be the stability joints, say, that's when I tend to want to overlean because I'm trying to use those stronger muscles. Well, I want to work on the weaker ones. That's why I have my chair here, so I do not overlean. Tight, drop, shift, bring it up, keep the supporting leg soft, and you're hanging onto it up here. And now is when you might do just tiny, tiny little presses. See, I'm pressing that leg out. I'll turn so you can see what I'm talking about. Tighten, tighten. Bring it up, and then just do a tiny little press. See that? Yeah, just right there. Count them out as many as you can, 6 to 10. Then bring it down. This will grab. Make sure that you don't overdo because you're just coming back in. I'm just showing you that this is how you start to overload gently when you've been off, okay? And it should also remind us we need to stay really regular with this kind of with strength training because we lose muscle very quickly if we don't. They've done all kinds of research on that. We saw that with the astronaut program. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they started losing a lot of muscle because of the no pull of gravity. Well, we're using gravity and we're just putting ourselves in a position where that these bones and muscles are pulling. That's all I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to do it gradually so that you start to get that strength work going again, because it can be very discouraging because you're thinking, I worked all this stuff and I lost all that benefit. Well, number one, you did not. It will take you literally a few workouts for your muscles to start getting back on target. You have muscle memory. You don't have to go through that whole retraining. It's just so important for you to keep strength work going in a real way. And I'm trying to make sense of it in very simple moves. And one of them is the functional sit to stand. So now I'm going to take the leg weight off. And what am I doing? I'm being very mindful to not bend and flex my back. Okay, so I go like this. I hip hinge. I release the weight strap. and it just comes right off. Okay? Take a breath. Now do the sit to stand from just a plain chair bottom. Unless you have some injuries, then you might need to elect to use the pad again. Okay, so here I go. Bring the hands out there, go here, press, and just take a few steps. Do you see what a difference that is? So some of you have 5-pound weights, leg weights. Any leg weight that you move that keeps you really working against that. Wow. Okay, so here's the deal. And I can do this with us, but I'm going to continue to do our sit to stands. So I will just tell you that for above average function, for most seniors, you're going to look for 30 seconds, and you want to have about 19 sit to stands in a 30-second time frame. Okay, and I can do the testing for you, but I want to continue on our pathway and not overdo, because this is going to be titled When You've Been Lazy. Don't test yourself when you've been lazy, I would say. I mean, it's a timed test, and some people kind of overdo it. But right now, see, if I do a sit to stand, and so through this whole workout, those of you who do count, and I know I have a couple, but especially Kathy, you will have been noticing that, yeah, we're in about our third set. So I didn't do 3 sets all at once, right? And you can do the 3 sets through the day. The point is, put your joints, put your body, your alignment in such a position that you can do a safe sit to stand. And you can do about 3 sets of around 8 to 15. You get to judge how many you get to push, okay? Take a breath. So now I'm going to finish the rest without reaching my hands out. I'm going to go like this, okay? So I'm not going to use my hands at all. So my rib cage is up. I'm going to go into a hip hinge. My feet are wide, okay? Breathe, drop your shoulders, and go into those heels, okay? Now, as you're coming down and you're actually going to sit, make sure you don't drift. So when you come down, you want to look to see if that chair is where you remembered it, because some people drift into the front of their feet, okay? And then when you go to sit down, the chair ain't there. It's not pretty. Okay, take a breath. See what I'm doing? So I'm doing hip hinge, down, take a breath, hip hinge, up, hip hinge, down, hip hinge, up. And here's what your goal should be. When you're coming down to the landing, or when you're coming up, you don't want to be jerking or falling into your chair. You want to use your muscles. Take a breath. We're going to do 2 more. Breath. Here we go. And breath. Now, you're going to turn. You're going to turn your chair. Okay. You're going to take your hip bones. You're going to release your butt. Release your tummy muscles. Drop your shoulders. Yes. You're going to step into there. You're going to push your hips toward the chair back. And just grab hold of this front. Stabilize yourself. Keep your chin tucked. Hang on to your chair there. Soften your knees. Yes. Okay. Now really let this stretch. That should feel really good on a hip that might be tight on you. And then all I want you to do after you've kind of settled in here, all I want you to do is lift your chin. See, I just want you to lift your chin until you feel a stretch. I don't want to crank my head back, okay? I want my ear to stay right over my shoulder. I'm just lifting the chin. Get your chin, get your mouth, your teeth shut, and then come back, and then come forward. Take a big breath, shoulders down. Okay. This move with the sit to stands that we've done, oh my goodness, you will feel so much better. Release, don't tighten up, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Lift. Take a big breath. And all I'm doing is lifting my chin. Okay? Then you rotate and you come out of it. Then you step split stance and you do a nice body arm swing. See? Keep your chin tucked and stay upright. Don't lean forward. Okay? And hold your balance here. And you're going to do these swings. You're going to at least 10, maybe 20. Okay? I'm not lifting my arms. I'm swinging from the shoulder. Then you step in. Then you step back. Okay? Drop your chin. There we go. Just like that. Breath, drop, breath, drop, breath, drop, breath, drop. Yeah. Hang on. Hang on. So, when you've been a little lazy and you haven't done all your normal working out, start somewhere. I'm telling you, from what I've researched and seen in my own practices with people, sit to stands with accompanying some of these moves for the shoulders is where you want to start. And we did all 3 sets in 1 hour. You don't have to do it in 1 hour. You can do it all day, all through the day. It's one of your best secrets to stay independent. That's the point.